In tumultuous 1945, a worker in Egypt, fortuitously digging, uncovered an ancient secret, a hidden Christian site. From the heart of one of those tombs, secret biblical teachings emerged, revealing the manifestation of consciousness and a mysterious unity. An enigma enshrined in a monumental vessel containing 13 leather manuscripts, a fascinating mosaic of 48 separate works. Intriguing manuscripts reveal a path to salvation through mystical knowledge. In the mysterious Gospel of Thomas, Gnosticism reveals an essence. We are souls trapped in material bodies, releasable only through wisdom. Jesus the Redeemer imparts this liberating knowledge to disciples like Thomas. Imagine if these teachings were included in the modern Bible, illuminating the inner power of every individual. The Gospel according to Thomas does not tell but reveals, in 1 in 14 sayings, the secret words of Jesus. Whoever interprets these words will conquer death, will not stop in his quest, and will ultimately reign over the universe. The search for truth may upset you, but when it is revealed, you will discover supreme power over your life and the cosmos. The Gospel of Thomas, excluded from the Bible, hides a truth considered dangerous by some religious leaders. They claim that when read and compared, it presents a radically different Jesus, uniting teachings that they believe clash with biblical philosophy. However, in the Western tradition, especially in the Judeo-Christian tradition, something happened in the 1st century, specifically in the year 325 AD. At that time, our texts underwent changes, and the language of emotions was removed, depriving us of valuable knowledge until now. Emperor Constantine and the early Christian Church shaped our Western biblical canon, excluding and modifying at least 45 books. These manipulations deprived us of crucial wisdoms, such as universal connection. The texts of Jesus, not included in the primary sources but considered official by the Church, were removed not for lack of validity, but for being deemed inconsistent with ancient teachings. And this lifts the veil on hidden truths, rewritten by changing the terms, bringing to light the belief that the essence of every person on earth is imbued with the same power as Jesus would revolutionize our understanding of life and history itself. An external force no longer to be feared but embraced. Here are some words of Jesus from the Gospel according to Thomas, with fascinating interpretations. If those who lead you say that the kingdom is in heaven, the birds will go before you. If they say that it is in the sea, the fish will precede you. In reality, the kingdom is within and without you. When you know yourselves, you will be known and recognize that you are children of the living Father.
If you do not know yourselves, you will live in poverty and be that poverty. This powerful verse reflects on the consequences of believing that power resides outside the individual, emphasizing the inevitable dissipation of energy in the sometimes misguided search. Verse 27 states, "Unless you abstain from the world, you will not find the Father's kingdom." A call to distance ourselves from what disturbs and to truly believe in the inner power to transform everything, otherwise we will remain trapped in the present reality, out of our control. Verse 50 invites us to answer questions about our origin with an illuminating truth. We come from light, from the place where light came into being independently and became manifest through their image. A burst of awareness about our divine origin and the potential to manifest the light within us. Light symbolizes the origin of human beings. In verse 77, Jesus proclaims, "I am the light that is above everything. From me all have come forth, and to me they have extended." This reveals that the one consciousness lives in everything and all living beings. In verse 113, the disciples asked when the kingdom will come. Jesus answered that it will not come by waiting or looking for it in a specific place. It is already spread over the earth, but men do not see it. The power has always been within us, but we have lost sight of it. We do not have to wait to experience this consciousness. It is already woven into all things, including people. To release the power of the divine matrix in our lives, we need to understand how it works, a language explained by science. However, this language cannot be taught by science alone. It comes from our history, culture, and masters who have used this language for millennia. We are learning what Jesus and the great masters said because it is always the same whether you are a Buddhist, Hindu, or Christian. We are all being told that there is an energy field and that we have the language to use it. If you have proficiency in Greek, you can spot some Greek letters in the Gospel of Thomas. Pay attention, this text was written about 300 years after the time of Jesus. Even today in the Buddhist monasteries of Tibet, sages teach us that in order to get answers to our prayers, we must hear them as if they have already been answered. In the Gospel of Thomas, verse 106, translated from the Nag Hammadi Library, reveals the key. If you own a copy, consult the text, otherwise it is available in our books in any library. A journey to antiquity to reclaim lost knowledge and transform your existence. In verse 106 of the Gospel of Thomas, we explore a powerful message that unites thought and emotion. It reveals that when you converge your thought and emotion into one force, you gain the power to command the mountain to move, and the mountain will move. This fusion creates an extraordinary force that enables you to influence the world. In a second passage, this concept is repeated in verse 48, emphasizing the importance of combining thought and emotion to create feelings in our bodies. This idea is so crucial that it is written at least 3 times in the same gospel. Listen carefully to what Jesus says. If the two make peace with each other in this house, when he talks about house or temple, he is directly referring to you. You are the house, you are the temple. If thought and emotion come together in peace, becoming one, you will have the power to command the mountain to move, and the mountain will move. This emphasizes in a completely different verse how powerful it is to unite thought and emotion. However, it has not yet been explained to us how. Your Christian Bible contains a relevant passage today. How many times have you heard, "Ask, and it will be given to you"? I know people who have begged, asked, and pleaded without seeing any results. Why? Because the request should not be made with the voice, nor with a simple, "Please bring this to me, into my world." This is not the correct way to ask. To address the field, the divine matrix, we must use language that it recognizes. This language has meaning. The field does not recognize our voice, but it recognizes the power of our heart. Remember when we talked about the heart? We said that a feeling creates vibrations at a specific frequency, electromagnetic waves, magnetic waves. This is the language that the field recognizes. When you create the feeling in your heart, as if your prayer was already answered, you generate the electromagnetic waves that attract the response to you. In the Bible, in the book of John 16:23-24, you find the condensed, modified version that reads like this: "Whatever you ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. Until now, you have asked nothing in my name. Ask, and you shall receive so that your joy may be complete." Let's dive into the modified version and you will be amazed. You will wonder why they removed the 2 phrases that explain how to ask. During the changes in the 4th century, these 2 phrases were removed. Do you want to find out what these original phrases are? Let us return to the original Aramaic and examine a new translation. The original Aramaic begins in much the same way, but this is a version translated directly from the original that includes the missing pieces. "Everything you ask for directly from within my name will be given to you. Until now you have not done so because what we ask with the voice we do not do. Here is the piece that has been changed, what has been lost." Listen to these 2 powerful phrases. Ask without hidden motivation and you will be surrounded by your answer. You will be enveloped by what you desire so that your joy will be full. Observe what I'm saying. He is inviting us to speak words and be surrounded, to feel as if the response has already happened, to be enveloped by what we desire. This is the point at which thought and emotion become one. Visualize the healing power in your loved ones. Feel the love of that thought become one. This is the language that the field recognizes. Do you find yourself in this vision? Let's see an example in a moment. Ask without hidden motive. What would that hidden motive be? Ask without judgment, following the teaching of the Buddhists, without judging what is right or wrong, good or bad. Ask without ego. Place your request from the heart so that it has meaning for you. I will offer you another example. In his book, The Power of Awareness, the early 20th century philosopher Neville expresses basically the same idea. Neville states that you must transform your future dream into a present reality by assuming the feeling of your desire as if it were already fulfilled. It comes from the place where this has already happened, now. This is exactly what those healers did with the tumor. When they treated the woman with cancer this morning, they did not judge the cancer as wrong or bad, nor right or good. There was no judgment. They accepted that cancer as a possibility, one of many, because in the quantum world all things are possible. So they didn't. They declared, "Bad cancer, you have to go away or we will operate on you." They didn't. They accepted the cancer as it was, without hidden reason, without judgment, and said, "Now we will choose a new reality." They assumed that the woman was already healed, focusing deeply on the feeling as if the experience had already happened. In the song they were performing they said wasa wasa, which loosely translates to already done, already done. When they got excited they exclaimed mate, 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 which means now, now. Not in a year, not in a month, not in 5 minutes, but now, in the quantum world, now. It must respond to physical reality, to the language it understands. Just as in the Buddhist traditions they explain to us the importance of the quality of feeling, so in the Judeo-Christian traditions they give us instructions on how to be surrounded, enveloped, on how to create that feeling. When we put all this together, something happens in our hearts. It is not confined only to our minds, feeling as if the prayer has already been answered, without judgment or ego, and perceiving the result as if it has already happened. I studied martial arts when I was in my 20s, even in my 30s and beyond. I had seen athletes when they demonstrate their concentration by breaking a concrete block. We all saw it, admiring in disbelief, right? When an athlete is focused on that block, the last thing he's thinking about is his hand hitting the block, because he knows it's going to hurt. He focuses on what happens after his hand has gone through the block, as if it has already happened. He focuses on a point below the block, and he already feels the sensation, the excitement of the final position of his hand, as if he is already at that point. It is a metaphor, an equivalent of what we are doing with the power of emotion, feeling as if the experience has already happened. It is knowledge that liberates man. If a person does not experience this higher consciousness, he believes and feels separate from the whole, alone, and simply a victim of circumstances. To free oneself from any manifest reality that does not contribute to what a person desires, the false self-image must be replaced with true knowledge of who and what we are. If this material has been hidden or eliminated, we have to ask why. The answer is that we have lost the connection between our body and our spirit, between our heart and our mind, between ourselves and our world. It is time to reclaim this connection, to rediscover our power and our true nature. If these teachings were shared with everyone, our perception of life and reality could be completely different. What has been hidden is now in the light, and we can welcome it to create a life of richness, wisdom, and awareness.